I want to thank you too, because without people like you, guys like us, don't ever get out there. People don't hear our story. Nobody knows about us, so thanks for what you do. Appreciate it.
Hi, this is Paul Dundas. In addition to being a Golf Smarter listener since the beginning, I'm from Wassenaar in the Netherlands, and I play at the Wassenaarse Golf Club Rosenstein. This is Golf Smarter number 880.
Day one of the 2023 PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida, Demo and Fitting Day.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
So over the next few episodes, I invite you to join me for my first experience at the 70th Annual PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida. Day one is called Demo and Fitting Day. And once I secured my credentials at the Orlando Convention Center, I got in a long line to board a bus for a 30-minute ride out to the Orange County National Golf Center, home of the nation's largest driving range, which is so big that it's a full circle with everyone hitting balls towards the center of the circle. Each year, the PGA Merchandise Show is where nearly 30,000 PGA professionals, golf leaders, industry executives, and retailers from more than 86 countries come together to meet with more than 800 golf companies to get hands-on experience and a first look at their newest products. What I discovered over the 3 days is that job number one of this show is retail. So even though I had media credentials, it became pretty clear to each person I spoke to that I was not interested in buying hundreds of each product for my store. I was just a content creator looking for stories. As excited as they were for the exposure on a podcast, I can tell they were looking over my shoulder for the next sale. So please join me as I meet and talk to a variety of people about what their companies have to offer. Now, as a regular Golf Smarter listener, you're probably aware that I tend to gravitate to the little guys with grand ideas. My feeling is that the major manufacturers, the major OEMs like Ping, Titleist, Cleveland, TaylorMade, FootJoy, and the others, they spend so much money on advertising that you're well aware of what's in their new product lines. But hopefully what you'll learn is that these small, sometimes mom-and-pop operations are there hoping to conquer the golf world with something unique. Some of them succeed, but most don't. Luckily for us, as a discerning consumer, I've got a pretty good track record at finding some diamonds in the rough. So you can imagine that my favorite spot on the show floor was the Inventor's Spotlight Pavilion, which we'll hear about in the next episode. So stick around as we learn about products we've never heard of but would like to support, some that we heard here first on previous episodes, and others you may have heard about but weren't exactly sure who they were. First stop at Demo Day was a swing aid you may have seen or used called Orange Whip.
My name's Jim Hackenberg. I'm a PGA member, and this is my 15th year with Orange Whip. I started it in January of 2008.
Okay, and I've seen it around, but having you with me is going to make all the difference in the world. Explain Orange Whip to me.
So I was a wannabe tour player, didn't make it as a player, became a teacher. As a teacher, I was fairly technical and probably making it harder for some golfers because I was controlling the motion. I had the good opportunity to caddy on the PGA Tour in 2003, 4, and 5. My final year was for Canadian Glenn Natchek. Worked with Glenn. And when I was out on tour, I was able to watch the best players in the world hit balls every day. And as I was watching them hit, I noticed that rhythm and balance was the key element. So I thought, well, how do I teach rhythm and balance? Like, what is the key element to it? The more people try to control their body and hit an object, it doesn't develop rhythm or balance. So I came up with an idea to take away the club head and put an orange weighted ball so they would just swing the ball rather than try to control a club face. I made a flexible shaft so that you could learn timing. Timing is another difficult thing to encourage. Finally, I added a counterbalance to it. Steel heavy ball to this end, and what it does is it balances out the device. By having a heavyweight here and the grip and then an orange ball here, you've got a perfectly balanced device. When I swing it back and forth, slowly at first and then gradually building up, it wants to be on plane in balance. and it's because of this counterbalance. So it's naturally teaching the swing plane without people knowing they're learning the swing plane, but it does it naturally through physics.
Amazing. So I've noticed that you have a number of different products here, and the orange ball on the end are different sizes. You want to explain why you have different sizes now?
So we started with the heavy one because it's almost like a way to loosen up and stretch, but the more you can feel that weight, the more you swing and the less likely you chop or force it. And I made different sizes for either different height people or different swings. Like I'll use this as my driver. I use the mid-size as my long iron, and we have a compact back over here, which is much shorter for my short irons. But I also can use that indoors. The smaller ball is our speed trainer. Everything is the same with that one, except instead of a 10.5 ounce ball, we have a 3 ounce smaller ball. That makes it much easier to swing faster. So I warm up with my Orange Whip trainer. I go to the Orange Whip light speed with the smaller ball if I want to speed it up. And then we've even branched off into the short game. We have a wedge and a putter with the Orange Whip shaft, the patented counterbalance, and we put a putter head on it, and then we put a wedge head on it. Stan Utley had helped us train it and build it, and Stan Utley he works with many tour pros in the short game. And he teamed up with us to develop these to help people with the same concept, load and unload, and let the energy get delivered to the ball rather than trying to force it to the ball. So it's been an evolution of all aspects of the game. And this year I'm introducing something even newer. We call it Chappy Golf. It's one club, it's right and left-handed, so you don't need to get a different set for that. You don't need 14 of them, you just need one. It's about the loft of a 7-iron. The bottom of it is rounded, so it's easy to skim across the surface and much easier to hit and create an impact. Now, the ball we use, I'll grab one of those here. It's bigger, it's the size of a baseball, but much lighter. And the wind resistance allows it to basically float while it's spinning in the air after impact. A good player can hit hooks, fades, high and low shots. They can create a golf course in a much smaller area. This only goes 1/3 the distance, so about 100 yards maximum. By creating this fun game, you could play in a park. You could go to the beach and hit it down the beach and play there. A par 3 course becomes a bunch of par 4s because you can't quite get there in one shot. So it's going to open the door to more golfers, less intimidating, much more accessible, let's call it. So I'm very excited about it. I was even playing in the snow with it. I was up in North Dakota at Christmas, and I was hitting it out in a field of snow, and I found all the balls and was able to hit them. It was a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, golfers, doesn't matter where, when, how.
Exactly right.
If there's a way to practice the swing, let's do it. Exactly. Thanks so much, Jim. I really appreciate it.
You bet, Fred. Enjoyed talking with you.
Now, all of the interviews you're going to hear on the next couple of episodes were shot on video. So what I'm going to do is post each interview separately on Golf Smarter TV at youtube.com/@GolfSmarter. This next one is a brand new product called Perfect Hands. And if it sounds compelling to you, then it's definitely a video you want to watch. Our guest, named Mario, doesn't really introduce himself here because we discovered that we weren't recording when we first started. But again, here is Perfect Hands. Hi, Mario. I'm Fred.
We do the whole bang?
No. So this is to help eliminate
errant shots. So if you have a slice or a hook issue, it's going to correct that naturally based on your body's range of motion.
How?
Well, we can talk about it.
Or you can show me.
Or we can just let you, and you'll feel it for yourself.
All right. Well, and while I'm feeling for myself, please talk
We're
about
gonna
it.
talk you through it.
Okay.
So the belt, there's 3 different belt sizes. Each belt has different connection points.
Okay.
These connection points are based on your arm's length.
Okay.
So we always say you want to take the size of the one side of the belt has the weight on it, and you want to initially start with it in the middle. Okay. This is your baseline for your arm length. Okay. We'll adjust that based on you addressing the ball later. Okay. So now we're going to put this on around your waist. I'm going to let you do it because you'll be doing this at home.
All right, so is this a consumer product?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the cost to the consumer?
$249. Hold on, one second. You're getting me. $249.99 retail. Right now, yeah, $249.99 retail. But over here, if you want to turn for your camera, the band needs to come right off the back of your hip.
Okay.
And then when you put this in, this is very, very important. People overlook it a lot. I need you to suck in as much as you possibly can, all the way until I'm completely connected. Now relax. The reason why is it puts pressure so the belt can't slide when you're using it.
Okay.
You need it to stay here off the back of your hip.
Okay.
All right? Mm-hmm. So if you said that you had an issue with control, do you have an issue slicing, hooking, or do you have a neutral shot?
I'm a fade.
Is it a hard fade or is it okay? Well, then what I would say is we'd hook you into this ring here because this is to fix a slice, this is to fix a hook, and then as you get closer, you go slice, fade, neutral, hook, draw, neutral. So since you're still saying you have a fade a lot more, and sometimes it turns into a slice, we're going to start here with you.
Okay.
Okay. So go
That'd
ahead.
be on the outside.
Nope.
It's on the inside of the hand.
Yours. So you're going to go and clip straight down there.
Okay.
I want you to flip your wrist in and over the band. We want this to be right here on the outside. This was designed to protect your watches.
Okay,
a little bit more rubber right there.
Good.
So, but you know what? Do me one favor. Well, we don't need to do a baseline with you. Do me a favor. Set up at address. And this is where I'm going to adjust. The last adjustment I'm going to do for you, okay?
Yep.
See how this is really loose?
Yep.
We want this to be pulling you through the ball.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Sure.
That's what we want.
That's
We
the
want it
strap
through
to be
the ball.
pulling through the ball.
So go to address again. So we need to tighten it just a little bit. The good news is, relax for me now. The good news is once you do this once, that's a set. The only time you're going to change it is when you go to the next band.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So now all I want you to do is give me 5 as far back in your backswing, full swings, but don't resist your follow through.
Okay.
Just go with it.
Just go with it.
Come back as far as you can and go with it. Now, just give me 4 more now. And try to come back further and further and further each time in your backswing. I think for some reason I have a feeling you can go a little bit more on the downswing. You're resisting just a little bit. Swing with it. There you go. Give me 2 more. Oop. One more. All right. Now go ahead, flip your wrist back, and then you're just going to unhook right off of it.
Okay.
And now give me a swing. How do you feel?
That felt great.
So again, this isn't a quick fix.
Right.
This is the
daily workout.
It's 25 to 50 swings a day, minimum of 4 times a week. But the more you use it, the faster what you want to achieve is going to be accomplished. If you have a slice, you're going to want to connect over the index finger. If you have a hook issue, connect here. If you have a neutral swing already, you're going to connect here, and you're going to be building specific strength to your golf swing from this point on.
Awesome. Perfect Hands Golf Company.
Yes, sir.
PerfectHands.com.
Perfect Hands with an S, golf. PerfectHandsGolf.com.
All right, excellent.
For anybody that's watching this,
Yep.
if they use promo code at the website, acceleration, all caps, 20, acceleration 20, you'll get 20% off.
With 2 C's.
Acceleration 20, go to www.perfecthandsgolf.com, hands with an S.com, and get 20% off with acceleration 20.
Pretty good offer. So, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Fred. Mike Dinder, representing Makefield Putters. Thanks for coming today.
Absolutely. What is it about Makefield Putters that makes me want to demand your brand?
A side that is currently the best putter on this green.
On this green? Okay. We need to make it the best putter on every green.
On
That's
every
the
green,
point.
on every continent. I'm probably going to suggest or state that it's the weighting system that we have in this putter. Our engineers did some studying and some research during the COVID pandemic, and our loft and our putter is 1.8. The weights, if you can tell, are in these 3 ports, and they're basically at the same, or the equator of the golf ball would strike. So our putter, based on our research, makes the ball go into forward roll a lot sooner than most, and there's less skidding. And another neat thing, with these weight ports, you have the ability, if needed, to change weights based on the player's tendencies to pull or push, much like you would do with the driver technology.
And when you say the weight putter of the putter, are we talking about face angle balance, lie angle balance?
I'm glad you asked that. This is the original model, which debuted actually. Today's our 1 year, our first birthday.
Oh,
so
happy birthday.
we need candles and cake.
Okay. A candle.
This a candle. This one is face balanced. It's a center shafted VS. This one is more of a, if you want to go down, this was the original. This is more of a player's model. It kind of looks like the old Odyssey Rossi,
Yep.
which there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. We just made a similar look there, but we also have the weighting ports in the back of this as well.
Okay. And I'm generally a center shafted guy,
So you would
and
like this?
I don't like blades.
So you're in heaven.
So I'm really
How many can we
attracted
give you?
to it. I'm really attracted to it.
Let's have you try one or two.
Well, let's have you show me why.
Okay, how about it? You want a center?
Sure.
How about we putt to the Makefield ghost hole?
I do that all the time with my putter.
The guy stepped in my line, he made it go to the left.
I see.
There you go.
There you go.
First part of the day, I had to get the green speeds down, Fred. MakefieldPutters.com. Thank you very much.
My name is Joshua Kinchin. I'm the Senior Director of Product Development for US Kids Golf.
Okay, so I've been doing this golf podcast for 18 years now, and a topic that comes up, and it's directed at amateur golfers about becoming better golfers. It's called Golf Smarter. And many of the topics that we've discussed over the years is how do you get your kids started in golf?
Right.
And years ago, somebody mentioned US Kids Clubs, and I've always been fascinated, and I just would love the story and how it works.
Yeah, so we like to say make golf fun enough, long enough until they can't get enough. So we use games-based learning, teaching. So we use different kind of games, be it chip-tack-toe or cow pasture pool, or different little chipping games and putting games and different games to really get kids engaged in playing the game of golf. And we do that really through three main facets of our business. Coaches, so we have a line dedicated to coaches, certifying coaches, getting coaches to teach our curriculum and teach kids how to play the game of golf. Tournaments, so we have tournaments all across the globe that we get kids involved in tournaments and playing competitive golf versus one another, which is always fun, the thrill of competition. And then finally products. We manufacture a number of products that help kids play the game from the time they're 2 or 3 years old all the way up until they're 14, 15, 16 years old, depending on the particular junior.
So one of the things a lot of people do is to get their kids started is they'll take their clubs, cut it down, stick a shaft on it. Why does that not help the child?
Okay, so typically
does it?
No, we would argue strongly that it does not help the child. One, the heads are heavier. So typical adult weight clubs are much, much heavier than what we offer in our line. We have head weights that are very light, anywhere from 30% lighter all the way down to 5% lighter, so all our head weights are lighter. Our shafts are also much more flexible, and anytime you take a shaft and cut it down, you're effectively making it stiffer. So you take an adult club shaft that's already too stiff for the kid, and then you cut it down and make it effectively stiffer than even the adult is playing. Now you're trying to get a kid to get that ball up in the air, create that excitement, enjoyment of the game. It's going to be very, very difficult. So we strongly recommend against that. Our clubs all have lighter head weights, more flexible shafts. They're easier to hit. They get the ball in the air. It gives the kids some positive feedback, and then they enjoy the game and want to keep playing it.
And what age do your clubs, or what size child do your clubs start the fitting?
So technically, I guess they start the fitting with a club that you can swing and hit at 36 inches. So 36, about 3 feet, is about where we would start kids swinging a club with our 36-inch yard club.
3 years old? Three and a half years old?
Three or 4 years old.
Right.
Yep. What we found is that kids grow on average between 2.5 and 3 inches per year. Both boys and girls grow almost identically pace to pace until they're about 14, and then the boys start to outtake the girls. So with that being said, because they're growing that 2.5 to 3 inches per year, all our sets are divided into 3-inch height increments. So we start at 36, then go to 39, 42, so forth and so on until we get to 66, which technically fits a kid that's anywhere from 5'6" to 5'9". And that's our tallest, largest set. Once they grow out of that, their swing speed is approaching 100 miles an hour. They're getting over 5'9". they typically transition into adult clubs at that point.
You said an interesting thing in the middle of that. You said grow out of that. So I know parents of young children, and a lot of time they're sharing clothes, so no one has to go out and buy new clothes all the time, and they're passing it along.
Right.
If you buy a set of U.S. Kids Club for your children when they're 4 years old, and they get hooked on it, but now they're growing rapidly, am I going to be required to buy a new set of clubs every time they grow 3 inches?
So we do have a trade-in, trade-up program. So you can trade in your clubs for some retail value. We'll apply that then to the new purchase and help offset some of that initial cost. We also recommend, brothers and sisters, passing them down to your brother and sister, and then kind of much like I do with my 3 boys, the 14-year-old passes his clothes to the 12-year-old, who will pass his clothes to the 7-year-old. So you can do that method as well. Or last case resort, you can always sell them on eBay or some other secondary market, try to recoup your value that way, and then use that to buy the new set.
So if a parent doesn't want to go every 3, like that often if the kid's growing fast, what's the maximum growth spurt that you can deal with before they really do have to move into the next set?
So our big philosophy here is grow out of your clubs and don't try to grow into the next size setup. So lighter is faster. And so the shorter clubs and the sets that are progressively in the smaller size sets are going to be lighter than the longer, heavier, taller clubs. So lighter is faster. That's going to allow you to develop your swing, develop hand speed. We would try to keep the kid in a shorter set of clubs before purchasing up above his player height. So that would be our strong recommendation there. Have them grow out, don't have them grow into.
How's business?
Business is great. We've had 3 phenomenal years.
I bet. COVID must have been amazing for you guys.
COVID has been a blessing in disguise. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy, but it was good for the golf business.
And podcast business.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Josh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
really
thank you so much.
it.
Yeah, appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on.
How you doing? My name is Gary Guerrero, founder and CEO of Lagshot Golf.
Okay, and what is Lagshot Golf, Gary?
Lagshot is a swing tempo trainer that helps you with your timing, your tempo, helps you with solid contact, helps you with the takeaway, it fixes the slice. It is literally the Swiss Army knife of swing trainers.
How did you develop this and why?
Well, the concept of tempo, lag, loading the club, it's not something that's new. Many people have tried it. There's been other products like the Metakiss was a good one back in the day.
Yeah.
But it was hard to use. If you didn't have it in the right position, if you folded it flat, then it wouldn't work. So, we took a lot of different ideas that were out there, along with working with the PGA Pro, Adam Bazalget's the co-founder of another business of mine.
Okay.
He helped me develop the Lagshot, and we just went through R&D, figured out what was working out there, what wasn't, and kind of just wanted to create the best training aid possible from a PGA coach perspective and background. And really that's where Adam came in with his expertise, my marketing expertise and sales background, along with, a lot of a great mix of things. And we put it all together, and here we are with Lagshot. And 2.5 years later, we're just getting started.
Wow.
So we launched our 20th product. We have 40 SKUs.
Wow.
We're helping men, women, juniors, tall, short, it doesn't matter. We've got a swing trainer designed for them. And now we're working on putters, and we're really trying to help just improve every area of the game. Putting, nice tempo with putting. A lot of people need that as well.
So I want to interject right here is,
Yeah.
everyone is focused and talks about swing speed, increasing swing speed. And you've talked about tempo.
Yes,
Those are very different things.
absolutely.
Why don't people get the importance of tempo and rhythm? And are tempo and rhythm different? Or they can be used interchangeably, I would think.
It's very similar.
Yeah. So explain to me the importance of tempo in a swing.
Absolutely. Tempo is the glue that holds the swing together. That's the easiest way to describe it.
That's great.
So if I can work on the one thing that's going to tie every aspect of my swing together, it's going to be tempo, it's not distance. But here's the caveat. When you work on your tempo, you get good timing, good sequencing, good lag with everything the lag shot promotes, it's going to give you the results of the distance and the other things you're looking for. So people need to start with the mechanics, get the body working right, nice tempo, timing, and then they're going to be surprised when they start hitting them further. And it acts as a speed trainer. It's 5% heavier than a standard club, so when you pick it up, you feel it. And the idea is so you can feel the club head at all times in space.
It's so important to be able to, and it's so difficult to identify the club head in your swing. Most people, a lot of PGA professionals will talk about feel the club head, and it's like, amateurs are like, what are you talking about?
Well, we're fighting the club manufacturers.
Right.
They're trying to make everything lighter and faster, but really when they do that, we're losing the feel of the club head.
Right.
So what we did is we took it back to the old school, when it's that old, you remember your grandpa's first 7-iron, that thing was heavy as heck for me.
Your grandpa, not mine.
Right, so it's like swinging a sledgehammer
right.
in a way, but when you're swinging a sledgehammer, it's easier to stay on plane than when you're trying to do it with a straw. So when you add that 5% weight, it helps it get on plane, helps the timing and tempo come together.
So what does it feel like when you're hitting one of the lag shot clubs?
At first, it's not
just a swing.
It's
It's not just a swinging warm up.
Let me grab one. I'll show you.
Grab a couple, please, and show them off.
So this is the original 7-iron, the one that we started with, and as you can see, it's got a very bendy shaft.
Right.
That's going to help the club load. You're going to feel the club load at the top. I mentioned in the beginning it helps with a slice. 95% of amateur golfers, they start like this. They don't let that club head stay in front. They're trying to hit the ball. They snatch it. The only way to get back to a decent plane to hit the ball is to do the over-the-top move, which promotes the slice. So this fixes slice from the beginning, because if you can see on camera, there's lag in the takeaway. You can see there's a little bit of a lag move, which keeps your hands in front of the head. Instead of throwing it like that, now it's keeping it at a good takeaway. And if your takeaway is good, it's easy to get up to that right position. And the weight of the head, you feel the load, the lag. And as you start your transition, because the club head is a little bit heavier, once you get to this transition, it increases the lag angle because of the club head weight, because of the bend. Then you feel that load and it unleashes as you come through. It's a beautiful training aid, and it's really helping transform golfers' lives around the world. We're just tickled with where we're going with the company.
So I could see the immediate value of having it with a 7-iron. What other clubs do you offer? If you want to show me a couple more.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got all the lag shots here.
Awesome.
This is the original.
Does it come as a set? Do you buy
them
individually?
It does not. They're individually.
Uh-huh.
But we do offer the 7-iron, the driver, and the wedge as a package deal. We call it the triple threat, and you get to save 20% off when you get all three of them. So we started with the 7-iron, the driver, and the 54-degree wedge. I don't have it here. It's right back there. We're here at demo day hitting. And then after that, we developed a longer version, which this is a 1-inch longer 7-iron for the taller guys. We created the first ever lady swing trainer. This is the same loft lie weight of a standard 7-iron for ladies. The grip is the same size for a lady. We even put a mirror on the back side so they can check their makeup on the greens.
Oh, stop it.
We didn't leave them out in any area.
That was a terrible thing to say.
I know.
It's like...
This is the junior club, meant for 12 to 14-year-olds.
Without a mirror?
No mirror for the 12 to 14-year-olds.
Sorry, just giving you grief.
So what we did is we really want to help grow the game of golf.
Sure.
And we want to help the juniors get excited about the game, improve with the game, and stay in the game. And no better way to do that than if we can put a lag shot in their hands when they're 6 to 8 years old. So we have 3 7-irons. 26 inches, 29 inches, and 32 inches. This is for 6 to 8-year-olds, 9 to 11, and 12 to 14-year-olds. So we have the juniors covered. We really want to grow the game. This is where we're going to start. And we're also working on a putter. Tempo and timing should be in your putting stroke as well.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't realize you should have a nice smooth tempo lag to your stroke.
And so many people just punch at the ball and they're with their
they just
like
hit at it.
A little backstroke and then bam, and they throw it forward, and it's like no rhythm at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're developing that, and we're just keeping.
One of the things that I've noticed as you're showcasing these various clubs is you have right and left-handed.
Yes, I'm a lefty.
That's
so it
why.
was one of the things I wanted to make sure is we hit the 7% of golfer audience, the left-handers.
Good for you. Good
Yes,
for
sir.
you. All right, Gary, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate
this is
it.
a good practice tool. But still, you get to swing. You're a club.
Absolutely.
And make contact with the ball. And you're probably going to see difference in the ball flight with this. I mean, I've noticed a couple people, their first couple of shots, the ball's just jumping off to the right and rolling on the ground. And few people are able to get the ball up in the air and have a nice looking.
Few swings. It's an unusual feeling at first, but once they understand and feel the way it's supposed to flow through the swing, they get it dialed in and they have no problems with it. So,
Awesome. All right, well, best of luck. And it was great to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the Golf Smarter podcast, Bob.
Oh, this is great. It's awesome.
So, how long has Squares been around now?
It's been 3 years today.
Okay, and when did we first have you on Golf Smarter?
Oh gosh, you were one of the first.
I think I was.
You were.
I read a press release and I jumped all over it.
I think it was, but this is a pleasure because it's the first time I've actually met you in person.
In person.
Yeah.
And I've had my Square shoes for the 3 years. I wear them, but I have to be completely honest. The original ones, when I would play, I would get a sore right foot, like the outside of my pinky toe would be really painful for a couple of days. So I can't wear them a lot, but I'm so excited to see you have softer shoes now.
Yeah.
So tell me what's been going on with your development and your growth, because you're definitely growing. You've gotten some big names involved.
Yeah.
Including here.
So the first shoes you tried with our first ones right out of the box. That was the first one. And what we've done since then, we've actually made the toe box a little wider.
Okay.
Changed materials. So that problem that you had will never happen again.
I can't wait to try that out.
And this is one of our newer models.
Mm-hmm.
This is, in fact, we're launching at the show. This is our new speed mesh. And again, it gives you the comfort that you expect, the performance you expect, but with a lighter weight upper, a little more breathable for the warm weather states.
Yep.
But the other thing I like to tell people is that with a golf shoe, if you can hold it by the toe and twist it, throw it away. It cannot facilitate the golf swing. Most mesh golf shoes with a mesh upper, you could twist them like a pretzel.
Yeah, absolutely.
These, as you can see, you can't twist them.
Uh-huh.
So this is something we're launching at the PGA Show tomorrow. Well, it's actually today.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are. And this is our new Speed Bold. And again, this is a performance-based golf shoe. It's got more of it is a synthetic upper. And it's completely redesigned. We've updated the collar material, a little more cushioning in the midsole. I think you're going to find this to be a great player shoe.
Oh, good. And you still have the great branding at the bottom of the shoe, which I think is phenomenal. You've gotten some big name people very excited about this show.
Yeah.
Share me about the shoe. Share that to me.
Yeah. We've got on the tour, we've got Sepp Straka, who was won a couple times now on tour wearing the shoe. We've got Faldo Daly, Fred Funk, Marca Calcavecchia. We've got some really good up-and-coming young ladies that are wearing the shoe, some young amateurs, some long drive people. We've got tomorrow in our booth at 10 o'clock, we've got Larry the Cable Guy. He loves him. Roger Clemens. We've got a lot of country music singers, but...
oh, wait a minute. You're a New England guy. You get Roger Clemens to come by?
Oh, yeah.
You must be dying.
Yeah. Well, Roger loves the shoes. We did a special Rocket Man shoe for him.
Oh,
so,
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so how many different SKUs, how many different types of shoes do you have available now?
So we have the Bold, we have the Speed, we have the men's mesh, but now we've got a ladies' Freedom model, which we call Freedom. Why? Because it's more freedom for the women's foot. Women are different, their feet are anatomically different, so it's got more room up there for the ladies. And we've got Freedom Mesh and a new line called Freedom Ultra, and that's a really fashionable country club brand for the women. So we've got quite a bit going on.
One of the first two of the things that really stood out to me in the very beginning was the wide shoe for people with wide width. But also, one of the things you first talked about was being able to line up your shoes because it's squared off. But then a lot of people notice they don't necessarily, position their feet side like that. So we're still keeping the squares, but we're not talking as much about lining it up. For lining up a putt, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people find that was not the intent of the shoe when we launched it. It was really not to line people up. It was more to allow the toes to sit naturally, but people find a lot of benefits in the shoes that we didn't think of at the beginning of it.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's great. Little things, little details like the laces. We put the silicone on the lace.
I always love that. Explain what that is.
So we got the silicone. So once you pull it through the eyelet, it pulls it down comfortably on the top of your foot and it locks it in. Right. So you don't have to keep tying it throughout the round. Plus, you don't want your foot moving around in the shoe. And that's what this does. It keeps it locked in.
I remember you talking about these little pieces of silicone and go, it's costing me a lot more, but I don't care.
Yep, exactly. Because you know what? To differentiate yourself, we're all about performance. And if your foot is moving in the shoe, that you lose performance. So we had to solve for that. And we did other things like the heel stabilizer, which goes from the heel down to the bottom of the arch. And what that does is it keeps the heel down, centers the heel, and it prevents rollover injury. And just little things like we sewed a gusset inside. So the gusset is sewn from here to here because water enters the shoe coming down from the top, and sand, if it lands on the top of the shoe, it works its way in. So we're waterproof all the way up to here.
Fabulous.
Yep.
Fabulous. Now, are the shoes only available online, or are you expanding out at all? How are you doing that?
So it's available only online. However, we're launching a program with PGA shops because we had a lot of pro shops call us and say we'd like to get shoes and we'd like to sell it to our members.
Yeah.
So we're doing a package deal where we just do displays. So they'll do a display in the shop, and then they can go online and order it through us, and we ship it to their customers.
So you do the order fulfillment. They don't have any inventory there. They don't have to stock shoes.
Exactly right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they love it. They love it.
They have enough there to let anyone try on a pair of the various sizes.
Exactly right.
That's a great program.
Yep. We call it the right fit because people can go in, try it on, it fits right, it's right for the pro, no inventory, and it's right for us because we can have it to you within 2 days.
So how did you get Jim involved? Jim, come here for a second here. I'm not going to be able to hear you as well because it's windy here, but Jim's the past president of the PGA. How did you get him hooked in? What did you buy? How many pairs of shoes did you give him to get him to agree to be part of this?
It's funny. I'll let him answer, but he's gone through every rendition of the shoes from the start of it. Jim's been with me from the beginning.
Before me?
Way back when it was just the design phase. And I went to Jim and I told him about this crazy idea I had about a golf shoe. And then we started building out prototypes. And Jim, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, let me swap the mic so we can hear you, Jim. Go for it.
I don't know, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago now, way before when we even started. And the interesting thing was we met at this little restaurant in New London, New Hampshire. He drove up from Windham, New Hampshire, and I drove over from Vermont. And he had this picture, this hand-drawn picture of this golf shoe on a piece of paper with a square toe on it. And he kept telling me to look at his square toe. See these shoes I got? They're square. They were just leather shoes. This will help you with your alignment. So the whole thing started out really is about trying to help your alignment.
Yeah.
And it ended up morphing into incredibly stable shoe that is probably the best shoe on the market today. I mean, I've been in the business for 40 years, and I've never had a pair of shoes as good as these. And I'm not saying that because he's my buddy, but it's been amazing. And our success story, it's a huge success story, and we keep getting better and better. And our new line that's coming out now is just fantastic. It's a real golf shoe again. It's about time we get back to a real golf shoe instead of trying to play in a sneaker.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me just wrap this up by saying congratulations, man. I'm so excited for you. Thank you, Jim. I'm so excited for you. I'm so glad we could be there with you from the beginning and help promote it all along.
I want to thank you, too, because without people like you, guys like us, don't ever get out there. People don't hear our story. Nobody knows about us, so thanks for what you do. Appreciate it.
This week on Golf Smarter Mulligans is part 1 of 2 that couldn't be better timed to coincide with our recap of the PGA Merchandise Show as we go back and talk to the unofficial spokesperson for professional custom club fitting, design, research, and technology, Tom Wishon, in an episode we call How Custom Fit Clubs Will Improve Your Game.
Many of the biggest companies have reached nearly $50 million in their marketing budgets. That's a lot of money to put out there to enhance their brand image and tell people that their golf clubs will do this or that. Yeah, the R&D is significant out there, but to be quite honest with you, I sometimes wonder where a lot of the R&D money gets spent because as a veteran scientist of golf club design, all the new technology that could instantaneously hit the ball better overnight from the design standpoint has been used up, or it's been limited by changes in the USGA rules.
That's Golf Smarter Mulligans, episode 196, part 1 of 2 with Tom Wishon, author of 6 books, including Captain Clubmaker, The New Search for the Perfect Golf Club, Common Sense Club Fitting, 12 Myths That Can Wreck Your Game, The Right Sticks, and The Search for the Perfect Driver. Please subscribe for free to our sister podcast that revisits the best of the Golf Smarter podcast called Golf Smarter Mulligans, being released every Friday from wherever you're listening right now. Now, before we finish today's show, this final segment is actually from the day before the PGA Show, as while I was in Florida, I got a chance to play golf with longtime listener and ambassador Rick Petrick. We only got to play 9 holes together because it was a Monday morning and Rick had to get back to work, but I finished the full 18. Not well, but playing golf in Florida is very different than playing golf in California. The grass seems to be very different and plays differently. Don't know why, but it did. Anyway, here's part of our conversation as we played par 3, number 7. Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Rick.
Thanks, Fred. Great privilege.
So we're out here. What's the name of the course we're playing today?
Palms course.
And we're in Pompano Beach, Florida. And you and I have been communicating for a long time. We're on the 7th hole, because Rick is only playing 9 today. It's a Monday morning. He's got to get back to work, but it's a par 3. Tell me the distance, buddy.
169 to the flag, Fred.
170 to the flag.
And it's out.
Let's see what happens with the 5.
Looks in the center of the green, too.
Okay. Now, how long have you been listening to Golf Smarter, Rick?
Since at least 2008, if not longer.
How did you find us?
My wife got me my first iPod, so I go on Apple iTunes. I'm a sports junkie. I was into golf back then, and yours came up. So I downloaded some other ones, and you're the only one still on there.
Why?
You have a great selection of topics, guests, equipment, and you've introduced me to so many things that I may not have found out on my own. Some work, some don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But your motto's always been, I show you the way, you decide if it's right for you.
Right, and I firmly believe that because, again, I'm not teeing up here. I'm not someone who can judge whether an instructor who thinks he's found the exact solution to the golf swing or Ben Hogan's secret. I'm in no position to dispute it. All right, so we got a par 3 here, 160, what did he say, 167? I'm taking out a 5-iron. Hit it off the toe, went a little right, probably gonna be short, which means it won't go in the bunker.
Can't tell if it went in the bunker or not, Fred.
I don't think it went in the bunker. I think it was short. I hit it off the toe.
Fade.
Rick's a lefty, and that one went in the opposite direction.
Ooh, in the bunker.
It might have bounced into the bunker, the greenside bunker, but he hit a hybrid. You've listened to hundreds of episodes.
Yes.
And you are so generous and kind with your time because you send me a lot of feedback. What teachers stand out for you?
Oh, I think for me, just like everyone else, Tony Manzoni. And Jamie Zimron, Sensei Zimron, because she's a martial artist as well, and we've communicated several times. I never did get a chance to take a lesson with her. But
she told me you communicated with her.
Yeah. But I do respect her application of the martial arts to golf.
This is me here.
It's you? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me see. I'll grab a couple clubs here, and I'm going to chip up, and then hopefully putt it in. Hopefully, I don't even have to putt. All right, you can go get yours. Are you in the bunker? I don't think you are. There's two bunkers.
Yeah, I'm in the bunker.
Yeah, he's in
Beach blanket bingo, baby.
It's a red flag, but it's going to break a little bit right to left on the way up. So I just want to chip it, get it to the green and let it release and roll the rest of the way. The wind's picking up here. All right, here we go. Oh, it bounced 1 yard short of the green and then checked up. So it will be putting. Ooh, Rick's bunker shot bounced right near the flag, but then released and another 30 feet past the hole. This is going to be a tough putt. Okay.
Oh, that one.
I've been overreading these greens, so I'm just going to go right at the hole here. Let's see what I can do here from 16 feet uphill. And I made it. And I made it. Wow. Nice par, Fred.
Nice par.
Thank you. I'm missing a lot of them really close today, so that felt great. All right, Rick's going for his fourth shot here. He's got about a 6-foot putt. There you go. Good four.
That's why I keep the pin in.
Yeah. Oh, do you keep the pin in most of the time?
All the time.
All the time. Me too. Good hole.
Interesting study by several, and better to keep it in than out.
Yeah. Well, but then there was the player yesterday who had that 48-foot. Did you see that? 48-foot putt going right to, just hits the pin and then goes a 1.5 foot past.
That's
painful. That was painful.
Exceptions to every rule.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer having.
Well, it's easier. You don't have to get in, get out.
Right. That's my first par of the day.
No.
Yeah. I've had a lot of opportunities.
Wow. I thought you had one before that.
Yeah, no, I've had a couple 3-putts, which kind of was a mistake. So, you've written to me a lot.
Yeah.
You've listened a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to ask me?
Oh, who does the announcement in the beginning? Is that your wife?
Yes, it is.
Okay. She has a great voice. I love her podcast, too. All the F words.
Yes, thank you for promoting it, yes.
Awesome. She's funny. Like, she's you. She's a male you.
Yeah.
She's funny.
She's better than I am. She was my mentor. She taught me how to do interviews.
Okay.
I was her engineer for years and years.
I was always asked,
and actually, as a hint, in June, we're going to have episode number 900.
Okay.
And last year on episode 800, I was interviewed. It's like, tell me.
Yes, by Jim Waldron.
Well, on episode 900 this year, it's June 20th, which is the day my wife's book comes out. Okay. She has a memoir that's coming out June 20th, and she talks a lot about me. So I'm going to have her on the podcast.
Excellent.
And that's the tease I'm waiting to share.
I love your wife's podcast, her and Gabby. They're hilarious.
That's awesome. Thank you. I produce the show.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. And a couple of people have suggested it, as have I, but that'll never fly. It's like, well, Fred is an F word. It's like, no, they don't want to do that. There's no content to learn there.
My most favorite one is Fidelity.
Yeah.
And she was funny, and she would ask the same question. We're all kind of the same age. And I asked when do you get time to fool around? I'm sorry, when do you have time to have an affair?
Yeah, right, exactly. That's so funny. Well, again, I just wanted to thank you for being such a supportive listener who gives me great feedback. And I'm so glad that we got a chance to play together.
Absolutely, it's been My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Something I want to do, you know, I'm like, I want to play golf with him one day. I think it would be fun. I think
that's the greatest compliment you've given me. Thank you. Thanks for the plug, Rick. Yes, please check out my wife's podcast called All the F Words, where two writer friends, nearly 30 years apart in age, discuss everything they give an F about. It's released every other week from wherever you find your favorite podcasts. As I mentioned earlier, each of these interviews will be available by company name with @PGA Show or @PGA Golf Shows on youtube.com/@golfsmarter. You can also catch my video overview of the show on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and again, youtube.com/@golfsmarter. I want to thank Paul Dundas, who lives in the Netherlands and has been listening and emailing me about Golf Smarter since we launched in 2005. I swear he's one of the first people who wrote to me. Paul has selected the online version of Tony Manzoni's video called The Lost Fundamental, which is only available through our website as the original DVD is no longer in print. You too can win a Golf Smarter gift and have a choice of which you'd prefer, and here's all you have to do. Send an email to golfsmarterpodcast@gmail.com and request our simple instructions to leave a voicemail at our toll-free Golf Smarter line. And when you do, you can choose 1, a dozen balls with the Golf Smarter logo from Odin Golf, the golf brand that sponsors and pays everyday golfers. These tour quality balls are a fraction of the price of what you'd usually pay, and when you use the code GolfSmarter at checkout, you'll receive an additional 20% off the order. Their link is in today's show notes, along with the links to every conversation we had today. You can also have the option to receive a private online link to Tony Manzoni's video, The Lost Fundamental, and your third choice is a new glove and glove storage compartment from RedRoosterGolf.com, the unique glove subscription service that offers many styles of gloves in 26 sizes. So please send an email and I'll get back to you with some simple instructions of what to do and what to say. Just write to golfsmarterpodcast@gmail.com or click on the Hey Fred button at golfsmarter.com. More on the PGA Show next week as we go indoors to the showroom floor.